Hi everyone, welcome to the next part of this planner video from Ivy and Inky Butterfly. Now unfortunately, recording this today, the sun is coming in and out, so I've had to close the blind. It's got a bit of a lamp glare going on, but hopefully it should be fine, especially once I come in a little bit closer. I have decided I'm going to do the background first. Now it's going to be a sort of sun set. I think I have a sort of evening vibe going on, so let's come in a little bit closer. We don't need the bottom, so we're going to do it through from bottom to top, dark to light. Now I had planned this before, which is why I knew I could do a red flag, even though I'm going to start with red, because I'm going to start with red here. By the time we get up here it'll be yellow. These stars may not show up, we'll see how we get on. But my darkest red, I think, I'm just looking at my swatches. I'm going to start with the Blood Diamond. I think it's this one. No. Which set is it in? Sorry, I could have got a bit more organised, couldn't I? This is from the Cobra set. I'm going to do a little bit of red at the bottom. Now, of course, this water isn't level. Yeah. So my book is reasonably level. So you can see that if I want to put a bit of red here, I'm going to have to build that up a bit here, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start here and just put down a little bit of red and then just fade it out quite quickly. I don't want loads of this red on this side because I've got to build it up quite a bit here. Okay, and I think probably that'll do. We won't go all the way up there where it curves up. Okay, just like that, and then down here. Now when you're doing this, don't press too hard. I hope I haven't said too late, because we're going to be going over it with our next colour. Excuse me, it's a little bit easier if it isn't as hard. There's no need to have it really dark. You know, a sunset isn't normally this sort of red. We're just using it as our starting colour. I'm trying to sort of think, where is this coming? Probably about up to there. Not going to be too fussy. I don't think, well, I hope no one's going to be getting a ruler and holding it across to see if I've got that level. It really isn't that important. I am just going to go over a little bit at the bottom, make it a little bit more intense. Excuse me, like that. And I think that's fine. Now we need a slightly lighter colour, so we sort of move through our colours getting lighter. Now this was the Blood Diamond. The deep red is a little bit lighter. This is again from the Cobra set. We're just going to use the deep red. I'm going to go over, we're not going to do loads. I don't want it really ready, but it just makes it a little bit easier to transition from colour to colour if you gently change the tone rather than jumping from red to orange really quickly. So just a little bit, and we can put a bit over here. It's a little bit pinky, I think, so far, but that's okay because I will be going over it with the orange tones once we get there. It won't be too long now. Hopefully it will sort of tie in with our orange fish a little bit. So not much of that. So that was a deep red, wasn't it? Now we could do with an orangey red. We don't really, we have like the Rattlesnake. That might work. Let's try that. The Rattlesnake is from the Cobra set. I think it'll work, but I'm only going to use it quite lightly. Okay, so this is a sort of transitional colour. Unfortunately, where I've put my red pencil over the top of my white dots here, they've gone pink, where they've it's bled into the white, even with the white being dry. I'm quite surprised, unless it's just I've just written over it and it's just sitting on the white pen. It could just be that. Oh yeah, that's quite a good colour. I'm quite happy with that. I don't want too much because it's a little bit brownish. We want to keep with our brights, but it will just help the orange to blend into the red. So I'm just going to put a light layer over all of this. We're not trying to blank out the red, we're just trying to make it slightly more orangey to make it easier to tone it into. This is a bit blunt, but anyway, I'm going to persevere because I'm lazy. So just putting a little bit more there. There we go. And now we can go in for an orange. Now, we've got a few oranges. We've got a pumpkin, a sunset, a burnt orange, a carrot. I think we go for the pumpkin next. That is in the spider, I think. Yes, the spider set. Whoops, doesn't want to come out of the tin. Here we go. Spider set pumpkin. Excuse me. Now, if you are a little bit unconfident in doing the old sunsets, in my ebook, which I have now published on my Ko-fi shop, it's not free. You do have to pay for it. There is a little explanation about blending colours with a sunset demo, but actually the sunset demo is available for free in my Ko-fi shop as just a little separate download. I put some of my other elements into the book, it just worked at that point in the book. So you can put and it's a step-by-step tutorial with photos rather than a video, and it's within a really small area. So it uses a I'm going to go all over this side. Can't speak. So it does a sunset in a really little page, a picture of a ship in a bottle. I think it might be from Flourish, Johanna Basford's free book that she put out during lockdown. I think it's also in Worlds of Wonder. So it's just because it's a little one. Now we're sort of at the top of the boat. Our boat isn't even. We'll have to go up a little bit more. See, I'm just giving it a rough gauge. I'm not worrying too much. You can start to see our graduation of colour. Now we want a lighter orange. The carrot's a little bit too bright. I think I'm going to go burnt orange, which is what's that? Scorpion. Scorpion set. My friend Michelle bought me these. No, she didn't. She bought me the Cobra set. These were a gift from somebody else, I think. I'm so lucky. I do keep it all written down, but my head can't hold that sort of names. It's rubbish. I'm rubbish at remembering names. It'd be quite tricky sometimes to, you know, I bet you've been in the situation where you've known someone for ages and you don't know their name. And it's like, once you've met someone more than twice, you can't ask them their name. It's just like, it's too late, you know. My son was saying there was someone he didn't know their name that he's at uni with. But most people he can find out because, you know, they might write it down on a piece of paper. You know, on the, if the app isn't working, the attendance app, they send around a piece of paper for people to sign for attendance, you know. So it could be that he can see. Now we have to remember here we're going in the boat. So we've got to start putting our colour in here and make it a little bit darker near the bottom. You notice I'm not really worrying about being too neat because we're layering up. We can get away with it a little bit, and it's nice to be neat if you want to, but to be honest, it's not essential, you know. It's quite high actually, isn't it? Let's take it up a bit more. Yeah, I don't get too heads up about being neat. Now our last orange is the burnt orange, I think. No, that's what we just used, I'm sorry. The last orange is going to be the sunset, which is in the Cobra set. There we go. Sunset. Seems the right sort of colour, doesn't it now? I'm going to start right down. I think I'm going to start about here and just go over the oranges with this. If there's a bit further down that looks a bit scruffy and you want to just go over it, do. You know, just do what you see fit. It's about sort of making it look tidy, and I'm going to go all of this because it's only got one layer. Yeah, doing what you think will help to make it look nice and tidy. Unfortunately, that orange next to Ivy's leg, a little bit too similar, but it's okay. I don't think it looks too odd that we can't see her leg, very well. I don't know if you even really expect to see it there anyway, if you know what I mean. I mean, it needs to be there. If it was missing, it would be a bit strange, but I think it's okay. Oh, a little bit in there. Around little house mouse. Try not to get house mouse orangey ears, although the sunset would reflect back. I mean, in realism, there might be some orange on the water, but which I haven't done. I'm just going to put a few darker areas further down where it's looking a little bit messy and I can see quite a lot of white paper through. I'm just going over that a bit. There we go. Now we want a sort of orangey yellow to start transitioning over to yellow. So I'm going to have a look again at my swatch charts. The Nugget is quite a good one. Yeah, Nugget is again from the Cobra set. Oh, my son's making a lot of noise. Oh, I think he's going off upstairs to play a game. He's got a gaming. Ah, I see what it is. He's got a gaming session with a friend on a server, and he thought he'd messed it up. But I'm wondering whether they're in America, and America have had a clock change. We haven't yet on the day I'm recording this. By the time this goes out, we will have done. But yeah, we would have just. But America had it about 3 weeks earlier than us. I think we have it on the last Sunday of March, whereas I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, anyway, it's a very odd thing. We all hate it, but you know, it is what it is, and yeah, it's fine. We just have to put up with it, don't we? But there we go. So hang on a minute, I'm just going to stop my video. I just talked to the child, but he had his headphones on and he didn't talk to me, so never mind. He's coming up and down the stairs getting things. He's got to get his computer and his mouse and his phone and about a million things. He'll get a fit, that's for sure. Doing a bit along here because it's a little bit scruffy still. Here. You can always go back and go over any layers that you don't like or you feel are a bit messy anyway. But the joy with this technique is you're sort of going back over a few layers anyway, so it tends to self-tidy. I don't know if that makes sense. Right, so that was the Nugget, and I'm thinking now either I was going to do the egg yolk. Yeah, the egg yolk is from the, I don't know if that's a bit too orange actually, no. I think I'm going to go to the banana, actually. I think that's the next best colour. Let me have a look. Nugget. What did we just do? Nugget. Actually, Nugget to no, banana. I can't make up my mind. I'm going to do banana. It's in my hand. Oh dear. If I held my swatches right next to each other, I'd probably be able to see better. But this is a really lovely, vibrant colour, as you can see. And I shall fade it out a bit. Once I've gone, I'm actually tempted to go over everything with this just because it's so warm and vibrant. I think I am going to do that. Because if I go over everything with my very last colour, it will be a little bit pale and it might just pale things down a bit, which isn't what I want to do. I want it to be bright and vibrant with this colour, and it will take the pink out of this red as well. There we go. So I need to sort of fade it up a bit, which I will. And then here, again, quite dark here. Now I always find yellow a little bit difficult to see what I've coloured and what I haven't. It sort of glares off the paper. I don't know if it's my eyes or the light in the room or whether it's just something everyone finds, but I just find with the glare of the white and the yellow, I just find it really difficult to see whether I've left any white paper. I guess we all have our little differences, and you know, we have some people have colour blindness, some people can struggle to see certain colours. Some people just don't understand about blends or know about blends and know what colours go with what, and you know, it might be an issue with how we see or perceive colours, or it might be an issue with what we've learnt and haven't learnt about colour. You know, there's lots to learn, and you know, we can't expect to know it all, especially as most of us have never done any formal art training. I haven't, that's for sure, apart from, you know, what I did at school, and that was it, you know. But I have obviously watched lots of videos and read books and practiced, and I'm just sharing with you what I've learnt. And it may be an awkward method, it may not be quite right, some of the things I'm saying might not be quite the right words or the right way, but I hope that it doesn't matter in a way, because I'm just doing my sort of beginner's experience, and I think that's quite useful for anyone else who's more of a beginner. You know, I mean, obviously I have been colouring now for over 10 years, but I still feel like a novice in some ways, because, you know, I'm still learning. But hey, right, now we need a slightly paler yellow to do our very top part. We have a pastel ones, but I think they're a little bit too pale. I'm very tempted just to use the lemonade from the spider set. I'm just going to sharpen it because I've got to get around all our leafy bits and flag and all that. I'm quite liking this look of how this background is looking. Is the lemonade. Yeah, backgrounds can be quite daunting. I absolutely, totally understand, especially when you're using a hard pencil like these. It takes quite a time. I mean, I don't know how long we've been doing this because I stopped the video. But, you know, you have to sit there and take a deep breath and be ready to put some effort and perseverance in, some time and energy into it. And if you don't want to, then you can just leave it blank. Use a soft pastel, which is, I find, a lot quicker. Now I'm just really blocking this in, by the way, not doing anything too special, just trying to work out what is going on where with all these little leaves, branches, etc. And I've coloured over that leaf. There we go, I think I'm done with that. So yes, it can be rather daunting, but the smaller the area, the easier, which is why I was talking earlier about doing a little one to start with. There we go. But you could just use a soft pastel in blue. It looks quite fun, doesn't it? Or whatever. Now, our leaves. This is all we've got left, is our leafy border. Oh, and the sort of circle border. Now, I had this idea about leaves, and I'm not sure if it's going to work. But I'm really tempted to just have a go and try it. Now, this is unconventional, and you will have seen the thumbnail, so you will see how it looks, which I think is important to see and decide whether it's something that you want to do or not, because, as I say, it is unconventional. I'm just going to grab a selection of colours and then get going in a moment. Right, will that be enough? I think so. Right, oops. I'm going to do my leaves in shades of purple. I think purple goes really nicely with orange and yellow. I think it will be different. These will stand out. I mean, it will be the same colour as her dress, but we'll see how it goes. So also, they're not going to be coloured in a conventional manner. You'll see what I mean. So here's the grape. I'm going to get going. So I'm just going to put a bit of grape here, and then just fade it like that. I'm going to put a bit here, here, and here. Now, wait, oh, there's a gap there. That should be, I think this colour, I'm trying Nugget in there. definitely background. I've got another bit over here. And a bit there on banana up here. There we go. Right, sorry. Right, get back to our grape work. A little bit on the tip of this one here, just sort of fade it a bit around it. What I'm going to try and do is sort of blend our colours up a bit. Maybe a bit there. I think we'll ignore that pattern. I think we'll ignore Johanna's patterns. Just do my own thing. I've never tried this before, so who knows what's going to happen. Hopefully something nice. Who knows? If you dislike it, you can change up the colours. So you could use greens if you feel more comfortable with colouring green leaves, or you can just do it in a conventional way. That's messy, isn't it? There we go. Where you know, just go from dark to light, or put a bit of shine in, or whatever, you know. So it is completely up to you. If you're not liking this, not comfortable with it, whatever, then don't feel you've got to. I'm just trying something really random. I had my hair cut yesterday. It was really nice. Now, I was really nervous about getting my hair cut. I haven't had it cut for years, and it doesn't seem to ever grow, so I'm thinking it's going to be short and then it's going to be, you know, horrible. I'm going to come out looking like a scarecrow like I normally do, because no one knows how to cut curly hair. How wrong I was. Right, Space is a really dark colour. I'm actually going to put that aside, not use that one for now. I'm going to use the Amethyst next and just sort of blend up together next to this a little bit in some areas, some standalone areas, that sort of thing. I found this, my son's laughing, it's good, salon in our town, which was very recently opened. A different shop advertised them actually, and they specialise in curly hair. Now, this was a revelation to me, that actually I found one other hairdresser that did, who wasn't taking on new clients. So I was like, oh. And so I just was daring and booked up, and she was absolutely lovely. She made me feel very much at ease. Now, I hate having my hair washed at the hairdressers, but I told her this and she said, well, I might just put the steamer on and steam your hair. She steamed my hair. Anyway, but then in the end she said, can I wash it? And I said, yeah. She said, I won't massage your head or anything, which is what I really dislike. So she did wash it, but she'd cut it first, which is unusual. A lot of hairdressers wash first, then cut. And I think that's weird, because then you've got all the bits of hair and you need to wash them out when you get home. And she taught me how to look after my hair, which was interesting for curly hair. So I bought some treatments from her, some cleanser, conditioner and gel, and she taught me how to, she said only wash once a week, and I was like, oh, and I said I wash every day. She said, well, why do you wash every day? And I said, well, because I get up and it looks so scruffy. And so she gave me a styling method which I tried this morning, and it was quicker than washing, or maybe that's, yeah, probably a bit quicker at the same time, so that was okay. It won't really mess with my routine at all. Next I'm going to use the, what's this, purple haze, and I'm going to fill in quite a lot of the gaps now, and just got one colour left. Okay. So she said to put some conditioner and water, but she didn't tell me what percentage, into a spritz bottle. I happen to have one with some treatment, with some product in, which I washed out, and turn my head upside down and spray it into my hair, and then smooth it with your hands in the prayer position, and then scrunch it after when you tip your head back up. And I did that this morning, and it took a bit of, it didn't really sit very well, so I used some of the gel as well, which is supposed to be the post-wash treatment, but then it sat nicely, so that was good. And then I went out this morning and it was raining, and I came back and my hair isn't frizzy. Wow. I mean, obviously the cut has helped with the frizziness a lot. I think there was a lot of it was just dry ends and split ends and that sort of thing, so that's why my son is talking so loudly. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm really pleased, and she was really lovely. She's so new that I think I was only her second client, which was really nice. I think I'm just choosing whether I want to do pastel purple or tulip. I'm going to do tulip. Pastel purple is a little bit pink, so I'm going to do tulip. I'm going to use this to finish it all. So I'm going to actually put it pretty much over everything and try and sort of blend it all together. Black Widows aren't massively blendy, but it will just layer over and fill in all the gaps. And it's a little bit lighter, and it should hopefully just brighten everything up a little bit as well. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So yes, I had a lovely experience. I had a nearly 2 hours. So I had a sort of wash, dry, restyle, and she only charged me £70. Now haircuts can be really expensive, and for nearly 2 hours, when I looked at her price list, she should have charged me more than that according to her price list. But I did ask for a dry cut, and she wanted to wash it, so I guess, I don't know, but it was lovely. And I asked her when I need to go back, and she just said, well, you'll know. So unfortunately, there's not a happy ending to the tale. None of my family like the haircut. My husband said, I'm just getting used to it, was his reaction. I said to my son, I've had my hair cut, and he said, I know. And my other son just said he was glad that I had a good time. So that was kind, but he didn't say he liked the haircut. It is very much shorter, but I want to grow it now, and I'm hoping that it will grow because it's had a good... She also sold me a little something you can use to massage your scalp with. It's a little round thing with little pimples on, and you just rub it. I'm just sharpening up. Rub it over your scalp, and it sort of stimulates it to help the hair grow. So I thought that hopefully that will help me a little bit. I mean, she wasn't very salesy, which is what I liked. She was like, oh, I've got this, but you don't have to buy it from me. You know, this is the product I use, and or whatever it was, you know. So that was good as well, because I don't like really overly salesy people. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand it, because everyone's got to make a living. They need to make money from what they're doing, need to survive, buy their dinner. You know, she's got kids, etc., or a daughter or something, you know. But on the other hand, being pushed too hard, I think there's just an art to it, and some salespeople have a good art to it. She wasn't really a salesperson. I said to her, you know, I only found out about you because someone else advertised you. You know, I said, you need to get your Facebook page up, and you know, that sort of thing. And she was like, oh, I know. But she hadn't been open. I mean, when I was looking for an appointment, there were no appointments taken at all. But I knew she was quite new, but she was so good. She was a little bit unconfident, I have to say, and a little bit forgetful. Like I said, oh, you said you were going to tell me about this, and she went, oh yeah, I forgot, but that was okay. I remembered, so it didn't matter. I mean, to be fair, saying she was a bit forgetful, I actually left my phone behind, so I'm the same. I'm not being picky and nasty. I mean, I'm just saying she was a bit unconfident, really. That I think because she was quite new, but she was just so lovely, and she took her time and was very, you know, just wanted to keep looking and checking and wanted to make sure I was happy and, you know, all that sort of thing, which is really important. So that I'm very pleased. Now, all of that looks quite samey now colour-wise, despite the fact that I used 4 different colours, which is slightly disappointing. But I'm going to use my space now to try to add a little bit of depth, and I'm hoping that that might sort of jolly it up a bit, really. So I'm going to start down here. I'm going to talk you through this a little more because I'm going to start with these single leaves. I'm just going to put a little dash of darker colour where the line is that Johanna's drawn in the bottom of the leaf, just to try and make them look like they might be a little bit shaped. It's hard for you to see because it's deposited bits everywhere. With this one here, I'm going to put firstly a little bit where they're overlapping so that we get a bit of depth from it overlapping, and then I'm just going to put a little bit more into that centre area like that. This one here, again, where it's overlapping, just put some in and here, so around that grassy bit, and then a little bit of shadow around that one and here, but also into this centre part like that. Now here I think the overlap is there. I always find that one a bit difficult to say. Now here we've got a turn in our leaf. I'll just put a line there and then a little bit more down here at the base. And along here, now I've missed a few. I'm going to work my way along here and then where that over,laps, and then do these little ones just the same as I did with the others, just put a little bit into the middle. That's looking so much better. This one again, a little bit in the centre, just sort of fading out from the middle, and then around. My son should be at the train station by now. He said he was going to, he hasn't let me know, but he's usually quite good, but sometimes he doesn't have a signal on his phone. He doesn't, because he's got pay-as-you-go, so you don't get free data. He tends not to use it unless he has to. So I've done the centre of that one a little bit like I have with the other ones, that shape. Now going around the edge and then just sort of fade it out a bit. And here, just come out from the middle. Like that. And these grassy bits, just a bit where it's touching the edge. And here. No, just here where it's on the edge of our circle. These again on that line, just a little line in the middle. Now this has got a bit of an overlap here, so just a bit of shadow in there, but that overlaps up there as I've just gone out of the lines. Naughty girl. And then in there. Now this one here, just a bit here. Now I think had we used a slightly softer pencil, we might have got a better effect from using all the different colours, but it's okay. Maybe I didn't put enough layers down, so I'm just working my way around the edge, bringing a bit of shadow on the edge, bottom of that grass, where it hits the edge of the circle, where the grass overlaps here, up here. And we're almost done. Much quicker than I thought, to be honest. Around there, a little bit on the ends of these grass bits, and then here again I think we'll do the centres, maybe a slightly larger area bit under there, because they're a bit bigger. It's not too bad, is it? I am thinking I really want to make it a little bit darker. What colour did we use on the top of the end? We used the tulip. I'm going to try going over again with the tulip in some areas where I feel it's a bit pale. You may not want to do this, you may be happy with it as it is, but I'm thinking if I can just intensify the colour a little bit, I think it will look more like I have wanted it to look. I know I can't really imagine colour, but I had thought it would be quite a dark surround, and it isn't really. But I think if I just layer up a bit, it might look a bit more intense. I'm probably pressing too hard, but that's because I'm going fast, which is a bit naughty of me. That's better. I'm happier with this as it's getting a bit darker. It's also neatening neatening it up a bit. Now while I'm doing this, I am thinking about this border around the outside. There's lots of options, of course, that we can do. I am wondering whether a black might work. Whether to do a sort of a black metallic. I don't know if I've got a black metallic though. Let's just imagine things I haven't got. Could do a black pencil. It's always that. I've definitely got one of those. Just one or two. I daren't count. Oh, I'm so lucky. And I know I shouldn't be embarrassed, because actually I've been very lucky in that a lot of the pencils I haven't bought for myself, and I use them. So yeah. It's not as if I have lots sitting on a shelf and I don't use them. I know people do. I'm not being judgmental, please don't think that. I know it's really hard. Sometimes they just look really pretty and you just don't want to use them, or you buy them and you just have lost your colouring mojo, or you've got an injury or other things to do, you're busy, you know, there are all sorts of reasons. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to judge, but I don't do that because it's just not my personality. We're all different. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. I was going to use the word faults, but I don't think that's a very fair word. And I think sometimes something that might seem bad can actually be quite useful in certain circumstances, or if it's used to a lesser extent. So someone who's a bully, that's not very nice. But if they just were persuasive and, you know, a little bit slightly less pushy, should we say, you know, they could adapt that to being quite a good manager. You know, this is a Gellyroll metallic Sakura number 549, and it's black. I think it's actually a really dark grey, but I'm gonna have a go at it. I quite fancy something dark. If you think that black would be better, there's all sorts of black pens. It's not really shiny. Anyway, a black Posca would work very well, but even a black marker, water-based. You could use an alcohol marker, because on the back we don't have a picture if you're not using this as an actual diary, but you would need to put a good amount of paper behind just in case it bled through, which I suspect it would. It might bleed through several pages, because these books aren't designed to be used with a wet medium. So you just have to be a little bit careful. I know from experience that these pens are very good and they don't bleed through with the way I use them. But some people have a much heavier touch. They might leave the pen on the paper for a long time, which might make it sort of seep in and that sort of thing. And although, again, I'm not criticising and saying that that's wrong, there's no right and wrong way. You just need to be a little bit careful and put some paper behind. Or a plastic laminate is quite good for wet medium. My husband's made me some. I use them a lot, not when I'm filming, because they catch the light, which is very irritating. But it can be irritating when I'm using them just on my own sometimes. It gets in my eye. I've just gone out of the lines. But they can be quite good because if you're using a pastel and you squodge it outside of the book, you can just brush it off your laminate before you put it away. Although it's plastic, which obviously isn't good, you can reuse it so many more times than a paper one. Gosh, that was a mess, wasn't it? So I'm not sure whether it's better or not really for the planet. It's always hard, isn't it, trying to be as good for the planet as we can. We slowly make changes in our lives, we have, and I'm sure most people do, with what we recycle, how we recycle, switching products to ones that are slightly, we've just, for example, changed our loo paper to one that's wrapped in paper and packed in cardboard boxes and made from bamboo. So it's you've saved the plastic. Apparently bamboo can be more sustainable. I'm rather than recycling, which takes more energy, of course, depends where the bamboo is grown, because if they deforest to grow it, then obviously that's not ideal. But I think the ones we buy, they're very careful. And there is also an expense factor, of course. It isn't that expensive, but it isn't as cheap as some. So, it all depends. But, there are all sorts of things that we can all do. So we're making slow changes. So I don't feel guilty about using a bit of I don't even know what I was talking about. Something. Whatever it was. Anyway, I finished. I personally think that black would have looked better. A much darker colour would have looked better. Now, if you want to do something around the edge here, don't know. I don't think I would. No, I wouldn't. I think it comes off the page. It looks like a plate or just a motif. I think the white background actually works really well. Okay, well, my son sent me a message to say he's on the train, which I haven't acknowledged. I really should. And I really need to go and get a cup of coffee, so I'm going to do that too. So there we go. As I said in the first video, in case you haven't watched it yet or you've forgotten or you missed it, I have got some comparison charts for Black Widows to Polly and Prismas, I think. Yes, so if you need those, the links are in the description. If you want them for any other brands of pencils that not Polly's or Prismas, maybe Artezas, Castles, Stedlers, let me know and I'll do my best, see if I can produce you something. Depends whether I got the pencils and that sort of thing, but I can have a go. But that is me. Thank you for watching. It's been a super long series, but I think it's worth it. My yellow sky is a little bit scruffy, but apart from that, I'm pleased with what I've done. So hopefully that's okay with you as well. As I say, if you do dark green leaves, if you do green leaves with some dark to light contrast like I did, I think it would work against the sunset. So if you're not comfortable with the purple or you don't like purple, then that should still work. Right, I'm gonna go. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like or dislike, subscribe, comment, all those things, and tell all your friends. Well, thank you for watching. Have a super day and happy colouring.